If you don't feel deserving of love, take a walk with me. I want you to know that yes, you are worthy of love. And contrary to popular opinion, everybody is worthy of love. But somewhere along the way, you collected all the evidence and all the reasons why you're unworthy and ultimately unlovable. You may find yourself going through all the different memories of relationships past. That includes family, friends, coworkers, and all the times that they made you feel like you were hard to love. It ultimately made you feel unappreciated and that you would never be good enough for anyone or anything. And it never really seems to matter how hard you try, the effort you put in, or the ongoing support that you so freely provide to others. Your relationships and your friendships can feel like everyone around you is taking more than they are giving back. These relationships appear to be one-sided. This is where you want to pause, take a deep breath in, and let it out. And remind yourself that you're an infinite being having a temporary human experience. You are part of a greater whole. In my favorite line, you are still a part of the ocean. And that should make you feel like you are deeply connected to something greater than yourself. It should feel like a gigantic hug or a warm embrace. And that connectedness that you're looking for lives inside of everything and everyone, including you. And whatever you decide to call that, that's up to you. There's no judgment here. The problem that many of us face is we've had all these negative experiences over long periods of time that have never been acknowledged, processed, accepted, or integrated. And if you're not doing the work, it's going to feel like you're in a chronic state of dysregulation. In other words, you've been living in survival mode. And if you want to learn more about doing the work, check out the Blueprint podcast. You've also learned that every time something good happens in your life, that somehow or another it just seems to fall apart. Or you end up pushing it away because it feels uncomfortable and unsafe to have that. All that goodness in your life, that's meant for other people, and you never learned how to keep or maintain it. You learn that no matter what, everything gets taken away. One of your survival mechanisms is to create walls, barriers, and roadblocks. And you do this for just about everything, to include love and connection. The version of love that you experienced was overbearing, overpowering, intrusive, and inconsistent, which creates a strong feeling of anxiousness, fear, and a strong distrust of yourself and others. So the story you tell yourself to protect yourself is, I'm unlovable. And of course, here is all the evidence. I want you to know that in no way is any of this your fault. You adapted to your environment the best way you knew how with the skills and abilities that you had at the time. You didn't have the knowledge to compare what you had to anything else. There was no real benchmark for how secure love is supposed to feel. But as you've grown, you've started to separate yourself from those things, and with that comes awareness. And now it's your responsibility. It's now your job to discover and uncover your path to healing your core wounds. And for all the naysayers, I had to figure it out too. Some of you may have already experienced an awakening to these distortions and patterns in your life. But you've always seen people who try to love you as something must be wrong with them, because why would you love me? I don't even love myself. If I'm broken, you're definitely broken. More often than not, they actually did have the love to give, but you didn't. You wanted it, you desired it, but somehow it always turned toxic. And the things that you tell yourself are, man, if they knew me, they wouldn't love me. They're just going to leave anyways. Everybody always does. You'll tell them, you deserve better than me. I just can't give you what you need. And if this is you, you may be a fearful avoidant or have a disorganized attachment. One of the first steps that you can take is to begin to limit the time that you spend with people who make you feel less than. Put yourself around other people that are moving in a direction that you want to go for your life. After all, you already know where everything else leads because you've been doing it your whole life. And this is where the game begins. You start setting boundaries with yourself and with others. You begin to cultivate self-love. You begin to build your full identity. And the biggest key here is to learn to accept yourself for who you are. Understand that your job now is to become who you're capable of becoming. And as you begin to show up more authentically, more as yourself, and you present that to other people, you're going to find that your network expands and you meet people who resonate with who you're becoming. And if you want more on all of this, I have 2 ways that you can do that. You can sign up for the 21-day self-love challenge, and you can join the Antares Society. Both of those things are in my Stan store.